Matt's not doing that.
We're not doing math.
So we got Gordon tonight,
Executive
Leslie's on
decision.
vacation. Go ahead. Roll call.
Mayor Laughlin,
Here.
Councilperson Dean,
I'm
Here.
vaccinated.
Miller,
Here.
Sexton,
Here.
Goodweiler,
Here.
Stuhlman.
Here.
Okay, first up, we were gonna have a presentation by Matt Goodell. I don't know if he's on. He was having some issues at home. So let's just move on. I don't think he's here.
That was our answer for what was going on.
I know it.
Main Street.
Maybe he'll join us later. Public comment. Anyone wishing to speak to us publicly, address the council is welcome to do so. Is anyone here to address the council or online?
I don't think you made no.
We don't have anybody on Zoom, do we? Weird. Okay, that's a no.
It was going a ding-a-ling and when we.
Yeah, I heard.
Everybody shut it. Yeah, at least I'm on. So I can-
They can boot it up again. Okay, the consent agenda consists of the minutes from the last council meeting of April 19th and the claims report.
So moved.
Motion by Colton, second by Nick. Any discussion? If I had one, it would be for Matt Goodell, but it doesn't, he's not here. So any other discussion? Go ahead. Roll call then. Gordon.
Councilperson Dean, or pardon me, Miller,
Yes.
Goodweiler,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Stuhlman,
Yes.
Sexton.
Yes. Okay, I'm a little confused on these next two items. They seem like identical resolutions. But anyway, Resolution 1999, setting a date for a meeting for a public hearing on the status of funded activities and final statement for the West Branch Food Pantry CDBG grant project. Give me a motion, someone.
So moved.
Colton? Nick will second. This is to set a date for, we have to have a public hearing.
Yeah, so part of the grant that we received, we have to actually kind of close it out formally, just like we opened it. So this is just going to be, hey, this is where we spent the money and field any questions that might be out there. And then we send the minutes to the state as well as the date of the hearing. And being
They want to see the minutes that we had a public
And then
hearing.
we get to be in our hands of all the extra red tape that CDBG comes with. Although I still think we're going to probably have a budget amendment also because of it, but we'll talk about that later.
So this is just to set a date of our next meeting of May 17th to have a public hearing.
Yes.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Let's go ahead, Gordon, and vote.
Okay, Councilperson Miller,
Yes.
Goodweiler,
Yes.
Sexton,
Yes.
Stuhlman.
Yeah.
Dean,
Yes.
All right, Resolution 2000, a resolution setting a date for a meeting for a public hearing. Didn't we just do that?
Yeah, but it's different.
Different.
On amending the current budget for the fiscal year ending June, but it's for the same amount of money.
well,
Give
one
me a
was a
motion,
hearing
someone.
for the grant, to discuss the grant and have a hearing so people can ask questions. Then we also have to amend the budget because we did not have anything budgeted for this
25,000.
expenditure. Yeah,
I thought we did.
no,
Okay.
we're probably going to get written up by the auditors because we spent some money before the amendment,
So what?
$2,000,
Sue us.
just to prepare you. I
Okay.
goofed up.
We have to have a meeting on that.
Okay, I need a motion first on Resolution 2000. Nick will second.
12% back.
Okay, so this is a resolution for a public hearing to amend the budget for the same reason as the CDBG grant.
Yeah, it's
It's different. Same amount of money,
Same amount of money.
different
Yeah,
type of.
which we're all being reimbursed for, just that we have to spend it first before we get reimbursed.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get reimbursed until you spend it when you don't have it budgeted. I don't know how you do it. So,
Okay. I'm leaving that up to you guys to get that worked out. Let's vote on resolution 2000 then, which is setting a date for a public hearing.
Councilperson Miller,
Yes.
Goodweiler,
Yes.
Stulman,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sexton.
Yes.
Okay, item 3, resolution 2001, a resolution authorizing the transfer of funds. This is something we do every year. I'm pretty sure. Give me a motion, someone.
So moved.
Colton, is that Jerry? Jerry seconds. All right, so we got it laid out before us. This is to pay some bonds,
Essentially,
transferring money from one fund to pay the bond for that particular fund.
There was an amount transferring emergency funds from the emergency fund to the general fund, just because we receive it, we have to put it in the general fund to spend it.
Okay, the top line says transfer from emergency tax fund, and then it says transfer.
Should say to.
It should say
to
two,
the
but
general fund from the emergency fund.
it should go to.
Transfer out of the emergency
Transfer
tax
out,
fund,
transfer in.
transfer into the general fund.
Yeah, it's laid out on the left side there. I see it. Okay, I'm clear. Is the Meadows TIF money in there to, are we repaying the Meadows anything
That will
for the
be,
sewer line?
That starts in the December 1st, I think, right?
yeah, I don't,
I thought we did a TIF asking for that. This,
we did.
In December 1st of last year, so that's for the next fiscal year, though. Remember, you're always a year.
Yeah,
oh,
this is, yeah, this is just for this year, these
Yeah,
transfers.
which we asked for this TIF money 18 months ago.
Yeah, you gotta ask
Yeah,
18
got it.
months in advance.
Yeah,
Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it is what it is.
Well, that's when the tax money comes in. Okay. Did I get a motion?
yes.
Yes.
Miller and
Jerry.
Sexton.
Okay, any other discussion? Let's vote then, please.
Councilperson
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Sexton,
Yes.
Goodweiler,
Yeah.
Stulman,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Cowboys playing? Okay, resolution 2002, approving various contracts for the Hoover's Hometown Days celebration in the amount of $4,400. Motion, please. Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Motion by Jody.
Might as well be.
Nick will second. Okay, we got a couple street performers. We have a magician.
Yeah, I'm on here.
Let me just summarize. A magician, and we have some the pony go round, and we have face painting.
No,
What's about face?
It's just right. Caricature.
yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to talk about it?
Yes. Don't
Okay.
talk so loud. It's a little staticky in here.
Okay.
That's better.
Can you hear me? You good? Okay, so we have the 4 different performers. The Pony Go Round, which is the returning one they've done for years. The Jared Hogan is for, we're going to do some music, some smaller venue. He's just an acoustic, kind of in different areas of the event. And then the About Faces Entertainment is bringing the 1 caricature artist, 1 balloon sculptor, and then 1 strolling magician for 4 hours. So that's the company that's we're paying for that. And then Absolute Science is bubble stations that we'll do down in Village Green area. There will still be some more contracts coming, but this is a good start.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions?
About Faces really come from Maryland?
Well, it's kind of like when we used to find performers, bigger performers, and it was like Gig Master or something like that. They're just the company that contacts the people and has them throughout the country. So I
Okay.
think, I mean, I have samples of all their work. I think the caricature artist, I can never say that word right, is coming from Marion. I mean, so the people are coming from the area.
All right, very good. Any other questions, comments? All right, we got a motion to approve. Let's go ahead, Gordon.
Stulman,
Yeah.
Goodweiler,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Sexton,
Yes.
All right. Resolution 2003, approving the proposed job description for the position of finance officer. We need a motion somewhere. Nick? Jody will second. So myself and Colton and Redmond and Leslie sat down a few days ago and we went through the job description. Tweaked it a little bit from what we had on hand. And this is what we came up with. And I don't know if the actual posting of the job, it's not on here, but hopefully we can post the job tomorrow.
Some went out Friday, and the bigger group will go out tomorrow.
So if anybody wants to make a comment on the job description, please do.
I think you guys did a good job. It's big, long.
We did take some things from what Tipton had. They had some pretty good descriptions, so we plagiarized it. Okay. With no objections, let's vote on approving the job description then, please.
okay. Goodweiler,
Yes.
Stulman,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Sexton.
Yes.
So the timeline then will be to post it for 2 weeks and then interview for a week. And then maybe the first week of meeting of May or the last meeting of June, we could have someone hired. June 7th, June 21st, we could have someone hired, would be the goal. And depending on when they could start, they could sit with Gordon for a short while, a week or so or less.
You gonna do
Or more.
background checks?
Yeah, it's pretty customary.
We'll have to.
It doesn't have to be the federal background check, but usually RPD does the in-state stuff, and depending on the position, you can wind up doing the FBI, but we don't have to do
Well, we
that.
need to call maybe some past employer or two.
Oh, reference check, yeah. we do that
Reference
all.
checks.
Yeah, I guess you're part of it.
So sitting in on that committee is Colton and myself and Leslie and Redmond. And if another council person wants to sit in, that's fine too. Did we vote already on that? Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did. Yeah, you said yeah.
Okay, item 6. Resolution 2004. A resolution sunsetting the City of West Branch Housing Incentive Program. That means putting it to end.
So moved.
Jody will second. And this would end on June 31st. It's done its thing. We ran its course. We got plenty of builders coming. So
So
any
with
other
this-
discussion?
Yeah, with this ending, are we setting new permit fees and all?
No,
So that's
So those are
another-
gonna stay the same?
that could be another discussion.
Yeah, that's another discussion. We did changed them around, you remember last year?
Yeah, we had
So, and that's a kind of separate, so we can bring that and look at those again. But they're at least a year revised.
Yeah, we might think about. We'll have to talk about it.
Up or down?
Up a little.
They went up a little, yeah.
We're going down.
No, I was just curious.
We were losing money there for a long time.
I don't know if we were losing.
Well, I don't know if we were losing money, but
No, I think you're right. Really.
barely. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Need to vote.
We need to vote on resolution 2004 then, please.
Councilperson Miller.
Yes.
Stulman.
Yes.
Sexton.
Yes.
Dean.
Yes.
Goodweiler.
Yes. Jody vote? Item 7 is planning, discussion item on planning Orange Street, 4th to 5th. East Side Infrastructure Master Project and moving forward with the Greenview connection is a priority to be substantially complete by June 31st. Since Matt is unavailable, Redmond's gonna.
Yeah, so, the reason that we had brought this forward, because we realized a couple of things with the Orange Street project from 4th and 5th. One is timing wise, it was going to conflict with Greenview connection. So timing wise, physical, and we're also trying to wrap it up. It's budgeted in this fiscal year, and this fiscal year ends in June 31st. So just physical time, we wouldn't be able to get to it. That compounded with logistical since we're doing and approved the master plan for the East Side projects, it didn't make sense to move forward with those improvements when you might wind up having to tear up some of it to do some of the water and sewer projects that are going to be a part of the East Side master program. So what is best is to coordinate that with the master East Side projects, make sure that the work is all done in a logical sense, and then also allow us to take the budgeted money we have in this year and put it towards the master planning process or the master plan funding that will be needed. So, and that I think was coming out of operational budget. So there'll be operational monies that we won't be using, and we'll just make sure we use it in next fiscal year. It's still going to have to be a part of an amendment process because it wasn't originally part of our budget process. I'm gonna have to take this thing off because it's like suffocating me. But it wasn't part of our original budget for our next fiscal year. So
Why wasn't it?
because it was planned to be spent in this current fiscal year.
But why wasn't the Greenview connection in this year's budget
That
and
was in this year's budget.
The Greenview connection was, but it was driven by the developer. So we never knew when exactly that was going to start. And then it took off a lot faster than we had thought. So that kind of shifted all of the construction plan of when we were going to be able to get the projects and all that. So that kind of bumped around. It took priority, obviously, and the Orange 4th and 5th wind up being in conflict with when we can actually get it done physically.
But you're talking in terms of the guys doing the concrete work.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
But Orange 4th and 5th was supposed to be done a year ago.
No, a year ago,
April.
it didn't make it past the goal setting, the last fiscal year. Now, I have to remind, we get confused on fiscal years. Fiscal year starts from July 1st to June 31st the next year. So 4th and 5th has been on the goal setting and made it up until the final discussions in the past couple years. But up until last year, it didn't get the funding. It was always shown, but it didn't get funded. We didn't have the money. And then we finally had the money for it. It showed funded. And then it
For
was
this current fiscal
for
year
this
right
current
now.
fiscal year. Yeah,
Correct.
from July.
Which isn't gonna happen this current fiscal year.
It's not going to happen because of physically we don't have.
That's
The
not
ability to
true.
There's only 2 months
That
left.
is not true. I have been told that the money was budgeted for 4th to 5th.
When? Like when were you told?
Ago.
A year ago before July
April,
1st?
A year ago, April. We couldn't start it because COVID hit. And we took the month of April off. So that put it back. And then fall came and we never got it done. So to me, it was supposed to be done in fiscal year 2021.
Which is the year we are in now.
Right now.
Correct.
And that's correct. And what
It
I'm
was funded
saying,
for this year.
right,
It was funded, right?
right. And it was planned to be now.
But it got put off all summer last summer, correct? Because we couldn't do it.
Right.
Which
Okay,
kind of puts
okay.
it to this spring right now. But what we're saying now is it's not gonna happen. this
Greenview is
spring.
where we're spending our time. That's where we're going to be wrapping that up. So one, you don't want to tear it up because we're going to be doing water main projects on the east side anyway. So we just say, hey, we're going to be doing that. We're going to fund that. So it really needs to be coordinated with those projects. Anyway, if we would have actually put it in, we would be tearing up some of our new road that we just put in because we're going to have to do water main and sewer.
When we went down to the city shed,
I think you're getting confused on the fiscal year. We funded it last year and it was for fiscal year 2021, which is what we're in now. And they're gonna take that money to finish Greenview and push that into 21-22.
So you were discussed in.
So, yeah.
February or.
And it's going to show up as a budget amendment for 22 because we thought it would be done in 21. But we're seeing now that physically it's going to be impossible. And now that we have the mission of East Side Projects as a master plan, it makes sense to coordinate it with those projects.
I want to see the east side master plan then,
Yeah, when,
and dates.
we really haven't seen a schedule
Right.
Mm-hmm.
of master plan, so that would help us a lot if we could see that. I don't know if you have anything.
No,
written down or not.
We're working with V&K to lay those
Okay.
out.
That would help us a lot to
Yeah.
understand what timing is gonna happen.
And then
Yep.
this $1.5 million funding strategy,
Yeah,
is that the master plan's total cost?
yes,
It is.
It
Even though you
is.
don't have it, you know how much it's gonna cost.
right.
No, it initially was one, and then we thought, well, that might not do it, so we went to one.
That's a
and half.
guestimate.
It's a
Right.
guess- it's a
Initial
guess.
estimate.
Yeah, initial was like 1 and 1.2 and now
So we're sticking with 1.5.
1.5, yes.
So if we decided to pull if the master plan was laying here in front of us right now, and we said, let's do this, let's get the $1.5 million coming, let's get her done. Could that happen?
With what I'm laid out, we would be able to start it because, well, I guess I would wait until we get the American Recovery monies. I'm being pretty sure, but I was just in a meeting Friday trying to explain how we're going to go about get it. And apparently the Treasury hasn't come out with any guidance, so no one knows how it's supposed to be spent yet. So even though we spent all this time on this meeting Friday, it was just like we're still waiting. But once we get that, everybody's pretty secure that we're going to be spending it on certain types of infrastructure, and all of the options, water and sewer has been one of those eligible uses. So we feel comfortable there. We hope to also get some road improvements and also money for sidewalks, because we believe that there's going to be some impact on sidewalks and roads, obviously, when we do this. So 350 there. Our As you saw, I accounted for the 100,000 on the school turn lane. And we also have the GO judgment settlement coming up where it'll be paid off. So we're
2 years, that's 2 more years, right?
2 more years. So that's why I feel like we can start it with 450,000. And this is going to have to be phased because even V&K saying we can't do it all at one still. So, so I'm thinking, okay, here's a phase, and then we'll get another bump. And even though we could enter into some kind of loan or something, knowing that we're going to have that money come available to us, it's going to still allow us to plan and pay do our debt service. So with those coming on board, there's road use dollars that is actually we've been being promised that has been coming in higher than expected. So there's going to be some relief there. Still waiting for some guidance on how much we could use on a project like that, because water would have to pay for water, road would have to pay for roads, and sidewalks have to be connected to the road by some kind of formula that they use. But that's an opportunity. And then if all of those, Plan B is to pick up the rest with revenue bond of water, sewer, stormwater. All of those could be revenue bonds. So that's at least a strategy on how to get there. Now we're kind of working with V&K to find out what projects need to happen when, and if we can phase it and how we can phase it based on when we think money will be available.
So that American Recovery Grant Fund, is that almost a guarantee we're going to get that, or is there?
I would say it's a guarantee. What is confusing now is how we're going to be able to spend it and what attachments or requirements we're going to have to go through to get it. Now, the thing that is out there that is not a guarantee, but we believe something's going to happen, is going to be the infrastructure package that the Congress is going to be probably presented with. That I'm kind of looking at might help us with our Cedar Johnson Road considerations. So that's kind of where we're working right now. This is based on not having to do any tax raising. So that's why I'm trying to use our existing debt service. If we use that, then theoretically we won't have to go into raising taxes for extra debt service.
So is there a backup for the 350 if we can't use that grant money?
We would be in raising taxes. We would have to do a GO bond for it. And you know how that that.
And you don't have a figure of what the taxes would have to increase to accommodate that?
No, but kind of rule of thumb. I would leave it to Maggie. I have some rough guesstimates that kind of get me in the ballpark, but I have to really kind of rely on Maggie to drill down into it. But 50 cents we raised last time, and it generated $70,000 or so.
50 cents? The
50 cents when we did the 50 cents raise about 3-4 years ago.
About 4 or 5 years ago, or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Or taxable valuation's gone up considerably.
Correct. And that's why the variables,
Well, that money could be used for this.
Yeah, well, something else will come up too, so something will pop up.
Yeah, and we're still stocking away into the capital levy reserve. So there's some variables there that would change that, but I was trying to work with the ones that we know.
I guess I don't understand if the idea was we were going to use a grant fund and then everything else we're using TIF money to pay, why would we need to raise taxes?
Well, the question was if we didn't get the grant.
Oh, okay.
You mean the American Recovery Grant Fund?
Yeah. If for some
Project's
reason we
still
didn't get
TIFable.
that 350,000,
Anything, it's still TIFable. We have to go into debt though to do a TIF.
yeah, TIF is usually repaying something that, a debt we have, so we would still have to incur the debt.
It's spending money, the debt.
It's just a way for us to repay the debt. And as you know, at some level of TIF, it winds up affecting our general fund. So if we live within the levels we have and just bump it up in incremental approaches, we know we'll be okay. Assess values and things like that's going to be a cushion for us and
Are
things like
are
that.
we okay with the $100,000 school turn lane?
Yeah, because we already planned that. And that was based on 50,000, which came from a lot of building permits, and then 50,000 that was going to be structured in a $12,000 TIF increase for 3 years or 4 years, I believe.
Gonna let's spoil our relationship there if we take that back. We have to have a resolution to pull it back, do we, or no way?
Well, they didn't take it, so I don't know.
I think we do, I think that was part of the deal.
You probably should have something that says, okay,
It's no longer on
we
the table.
say that you guys rejected our offer and, okay, we're not, the offer's gone now. And then that way-
comfortable
That's
doing
not
that,
what
though.
we said in that meeting. That's, we said.
I thought we were gonna let it ride for a little
That's
while.
what I thought too.
We're gonna let it ride in case
Yeah.
the turn lane came up. We said we have $50,000 to go forward.
I don't feel comfortable on reneging on that for at least a couple of years. Make us look pretty bad.
Well, not to say that we can't use that money now
I know.
and find that money.
It's
that
We're not gonna use it this year.
50,000 Later. I mean, if we can't find
Plan
50,000 in our
already,
budget, then
yeah.
our budget's way too tight.
Well, not only that, but if we've already claimed it, we're either gonna take it, not use it, or they don't like that. They don't like it. I mean, first of all, in order to do a TIF asking, you have to create a debt. So if we decide we don't do it, then we're not gonna do it, then how are we even getting it?
We can,
'Cause
we have to, we'll just have to do an internal document. Because remember, we also have $1 million to spend on east side water and sewer projects that's been in the plan for 3-4 years. So we wanted to use some of that money, use that money for that. You go into an internal debt instrument for that. Remember, the debt can be paying yourself back.
In
too.
yourself, within yourself.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what a lot of our TIF is, paying off the general fund for
Yeah.
advances.
Second Street's one example, and the water main up Main Street too.
We're just always paying it in reverse.
Yeah, you-
We
Yeah.
already incurred the
It's-
debt, and it's a year or so later before we can pay that back.
we like them payday loans. We get our paycheck and just, it's gone before we ever got it.
Very cheap.
Okay, well, okay, it's nice to see a strategy.
So is this a 3-year project or a 5-year project each side?
Well, we wanted to do 3 years, but again, I think B&K is going to give us more direction on when we can physically do these. So there's a actual
There was some.
conceptual, like what we would like to do, but then we got to actually construction manage it so that it actually gets done in a logical way.
We actually talked about doing it,
Wasn't the east
well,
one?
we were actually talking about doing it over a period of time and doing so, just a phase at a time, and then the discussion was,
Greenview.
let's borrow the money and do
That's
it all,
included, right?
No,
do the
that's-
whole project, but do it, it's still gonna have to be
I
phased out,
I
because
don't
we
feel
can't
like
do it all in one.
stringing it out for 5 or 10, 5 or
Yeah, I think-
5 years is way too long.
Was that 1.5 million?
3 years seems reasonable.
Our guys are doing it, or is that 1.5 million?
They were doing
Oh,
it.
I don't think they can do it.
Yeah.
Matt said
This
they
is-
could do just a little bit of it.
Some of it, yeah.
Like driveways or sidewalks.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, I know Lynch was going to be probably one of the bigger pieces of it because a lot of it's going to be water and sewer.
Just curious. I know we talked about it, but I couldn't remember.
Okay. Anything else on that, Redmond?
No, I think I covered it
You
all.
need to know anything from us then? So right now, the Greenview connections are top priority.
Yep. So we're going to keep on moving forward with that, get that wrapped up before June 31st, and then prepare for getting the Orange Streets. It'll look like a budget amendment in next year's budget, so you'll just know why that budget amendment's there. So it will just be moving that money, those funds over.
Back to the
Greenview
Greenview connection.
connection done by June 31st, is that what you said?
That's the plan.
Two
June
months,
30th.
60 days. Okay, I talked to my neighbor. They're still on board with getting onto their property to do some grading. I'm still on board with doing some grading on my property. However, I saw one plan where I'm going to lose a 40-foot maple tree. Am I going to get that back?
I didn't see that plan. So you're giving me some news.
I saw something about it. I planted that tree in a specific spot to shade my house, and I'm going to lose it. First
I
of
have
all,
to
you might have
ask
my
our-
wife to deal with.
Oh, yeah, I have to ask.
We'll have an excavator there. You can dig
I don't know
around
why
it,
we
make
can't
big
put a little
hole.
retaining wall around it. Or
Are you grading it all the way back?
So I
to
gotta
your
work it out with
house, so you
Schekinger.
gotta-
So I'm gonna be talking to Schekinger about that,
Okay,
saving that tree.
yeah, no
Okay.
one had said that, so I'll look into that too. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're buying me a new one. And I mean,
So, and I want to preference, because
You
Cole's
get free ones.
locking me down. It should be substantially complete. So
Yeah,
that's substantially
seriously.
complete, yeah.
maybe all but the grass seed. Okay. We on that? We done with that? Item 8 is another discussion to consider update town hall rent rates and fees. Melissa?
Yep, I can talk on this. Okay, so town hall rental rates haven't been reviewed and adjusted for quite some time. So I've pulled from the other communities and done the best of the best. Right now, I'm recommending that we drop the COVID cleaning fee. So that's kind of the first thing off of there. The other thing I am recommending right now, nonprofits don't pay anything. I would like to see the youth nonprofits groups get 2 free rentals a month. So, and then the adult ones, they still are paying, but it's a reduced rate. It's half the standard rate. Other than that, the hourly rates really didn't change for during the week. On the weekends, however, there is a little bit of a change. I'd like to do some block scheduling instead. So that'll make it easier for people to transition in and out. And if we want to do 2 reservations a day, we need to get somebody in to clean between there or check the building. It's just a more consistent thing for staff, easier to manage. With that, I went ahead and put in a non-resident or non-local business rate too. We don't have many rentals from out of town, but on occasion we do. And I also added in there just a standard, if anybody's bringing any alcohol, a $25 fee. Doesn't matter if it's for 2 hours or if it's for the entire day, it's just a standard fee. I kept the refundable alcohol deposit that we currently do. And then I also added in a key deposit. Hopefully we'll be changing the system anyway and going away from a key system. But right now, a lot of times people will check out a key and it's a struggle for us to get them to return it. So once they return the key, then they can get their deposit back. That's slightly higher for non-residents also. And then we have some groups that are kind of considered. This is, I guess, where I'd like some discussion. So like the adult groups that come through and want to rent it, let's say for breakfast or something like that, there's an additional fee for that. It is a lot of wear and tear on the building, and they usually do a pretty good job of cleaning up, but there's also some staff cleaning that comes with it, just the increased supplies, increased time, bathrooms, kitchen, that sort of thing. So nonprofits can get that fee reduced if they're in good standing. So like, let's just use Farmers Market, for example. We've never had any issues with Farmers Market. I would recommend that we go ahead and allow them to use that either at a reduced or a free rate. Does all of that make sense? So kind of a lot.
You consider out of non-resident, they have to have a West Branch city address, a street address to be a
Yes.
resident?
Yep, that's what I'm basing it on. Or you can have a business in town. So if you are not a city resident, but your business is here, that counts.
That's good.
I also, and that's something, I mean, we just always need clarity on that for any policy we do, because while we're all one big community, if you're living outside in the county, you're paying different taxes than you're paying here in town. And then I had just kind of broken down and done a comparison. There are other, I mean, Coralville has other facilities. I was just kind of trying to base it off of what our facility is used for, to do a comparable. So we're right in the range for fees. Also, things like dance that currently is using it, there would be no fee increase with them.
Because they're currently under a rental agreement?
No, because they're already paying $10 an hour, and I didn't increase that weekly fee. The only thing I did was have it required in a 2-hour block. And then you can request additional hours. And part of that is based on what I see happening. You can have, and we're all guilty of things like this. You can rent the facility from 5 to 6, but you're showing up at 4:30 to set up, and you're still getting people out of there at 6:30. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of what's already in place.
Okay.
Any questions?
What kind of revenue do we generate from town hall?
Not a lot,
Yeah, not much.
it's $10,000 a year. I guess it's between, closer to 5,000. I didn't bring the books.
It still sounds like more than I figured it was gonna be. Good.
That's substantial enough to keep.
What's it costing? What do we pay monthly to clean it?
Less than $100, I believe.
60.
Okay.
We don't pay very much.
Okay, and what's the cost to heat and,
Though the utilities are probably the highest cost we have.
We're gonna heat it no matter what.
Right, you're gonna heat it and cool it no matter what.
Yeah, and we might as well get it used.
Well,
Let people use it.
We have been levying taxes for improvements and never spending the money. We have one heck of a reserve for.
Well, that was what I was kind of getting at, is what's warranting raising the fees? I mean, it's not like it's gonna generate a heck of a lot more
I
money
don't
anyway. So,
I don't think there's a need myself. We do have plenty of money. If it's just to make somebody pay something for using it, perhaps, I don't know.
Well, if we get another $1,000 for the year out of it, that's something we could use.
$1,000 isn't very much compared to what we have in our reserves.
but it's a
Buy
building that's
some
already
stuff
paid
for-
for by the residents of this town.
programs or rec
So then we're
programs.
gonna charge
It
them to
doesn't pay
use
for
the
the
building
rec
they pay for.
programs.
That's true in any town. North Liberty, Iowa City, they're all paying for a room rental for a room.
Still paying taxes.
There's wear and tear, there's,
I mean, I'm just looking at it as if we were running a huge deficit and we needed to generate some more money to support this building, then I'm all for it. But if we're already making more money than it's really costing us, then why not just let it be a building that our residents can use? It's not like we offer a hell of a lot for them anyway, you know? Let's let them rent a town hall for $10.
Well, the fees for the use during the week haven't increased. It's the weekend rates.
Because God forbid we bring more people into the streets of West Branch on the weekend.
And honestly, I mean, the fees can stay the same, but the block scheduling will make it a lot easier to manage. That's what we're
That I
going.
get, that I get.
Yep.
Because right now, when people signed up for it on Saturday, they just took it for the whole day. And so if somebody else wanted to use it in the afternoon, they didn't get to use it.
Right. And they still, I mean, the rates were, let me look at what did I say? Shoot, hold on, let me pull my sheet up. For if you wanted to do a day, if you wanted to do a half day, a 6-hour block, it's $80. I mean, we're raising it if you want to do the entire day by $20. I mean, there's a discount if you want to take it for the entire day, just because it's less that we're going to have to monitor coming in and out.
Running town hall a bunch. I don't remember ever giving anybody anything.
That was before.
It was all for Boy Scouts. though.
Well, Boy Scouts get it for
Yeah.
nothing. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, brownies,
That was kind of my question.
they're not paying anything.
No,
Right.
Month though.
That's twice a month.
Now, the proposal is to go twice a month. I
Right.
don't know if they use it any more than that.
No,
Not the Boy Scouts, I can't imagine.
No, I tried to base that off of what they actually currently use. And it's another way too. We found this on the different things is to kind of create some accountability. If you know you're only going to get this many rentals for free, if you're not going to show up for it, then let us know so somebody else can use it. That's really what it's about. Otherwise, they don't call, and people are wanting to use it. We've had that multiple times.
You have trouble getting the key back once in a while?
All the time.
All the time.
if I was gonna do anything, that's what I'd do, is I'd make that key deposit big. I mean, big.
I don't know how often that we do have key problems.
We do.
Well, we hand out the key here, unless Melissa also hands it out. But
We still have keys that are missing.
We turn the key, we give them the key.
Cause I'd pay $10 for
We
them.
still have keys that are
Town
missing.
hall.
And if you don't return it, what are you out?
$10.
You got a key to town hall.
Key to town hall, you go there anytime.
Yeah,
And you got
I got-
$10 in it.
I got rent nothing, I got a key.
About $10, I got a key to town
So what's the proposed to get rid of the key? Put a keypad on there? So you
Yes.
scanner, you know.
But then once you know the code, you always know the code, right?
Scanner,
You
card
can
scanner.
change.
Well, you'd have to be able to switch it up. It would have to be a system or specific codes for,
Leslie
Yeah.
talked about changing the code each month and doing it to go out on the utility bill. That's what she told me.
Why wouldn't we do a scanner like a hotel that
didn't have a key, they just
That-
one-time swipe.
that card's only good for 6 hours or 8
You can
hours?
Set it up to where you do a key or a code for 4 to 6.
Yep.
And then after that time frame's over, the code goes away.
Okay.
Depends on what system
Key
you
falls
get.
to its original or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know enough about that.
Depends on how fancy you want to get. and
Yeah.
How much money you want to spend.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's not cheap either.
They have some analog versions where you just punch in numbers and you go in and
That's
actually
what
change the number.
That's what the press box has.
Out of the press box.
Yeah.
So, you know, it
That's
just depends
old
on,
school, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay, where are we at? I'm fine with these changes, to be honest with you.
I guess the only question I had, maybe I'm just reading it wrong, was I know you did mention we didn't have a lot of non-resident nonprofits, but I see it says NA. Does it mean we're just not allowing them?
not applicable. Like, where are you at? Sorry.
Yeah, up at the top, we have West Branch residents for nonprofits. Are we gonna charge out-of-town nonprofits the standard rate?
I would charge them the standard rate.
Non-resident other business, NA.
Well, I was just thinking the like non-resident nonprofits.
Oh, here. Okay.
They're not residents here, it doesn't matter if they're nonprofit or not, they'll belong there, so. They're
Well, I was
gonna
just-
pay the,
Okay. I was just,
They should pay something.
well, I agree. I
If you're
just didn't know if
non-resident.
we were gonna treat them as standard or if we still wanted to give non-resident nonprofits a break for being
Now
nonprofits.
they're non-residents.
We can,
I get that. I'm just saying, but they're still nonprofit organizations.
right?
it's a building that's funded by the taxpayers, of our-
Yeah.
so
I get it.
that's the, being the resident part is the big
big advantage. Anything else?
Well, and they can always,
Yeah.
they can always appeal. People can always, if they want to change a fee or, you know, they can always appeal to council. I would like to have just standard ones that we know are nonprofits. That way not everybody comes to council, but we can definitely add a different rate in there for nonprofits from outside the community. But my guess is most likely they're gonna probably have somebody in town that would rent it.
They happen to be from out of town when they're doing a nice nonprofit blood drive. That's only where I was.
Well, if they're doing something like that, the odds are one of the nonprofits here in town is gonna jump on and co-sponsor or
Yeah,
something.
the Lions
anyway.
or the American.
No, I was just throwing it. I feel like if Joe Blow from Iowa City wanted to just come over and have like a party and have alcohol compared to like Boy Scouts from West Liberty can't get a building in West Liberty and want to come over. I mean, to me, it's two different animals. To charge them both the same. That's all I was saying.
Well, we can definitely do that.
But it's still
No,
nonprofit.
To have a party, you're paying the 6-hour block rate.
Exactly. But I'm saying if you're Boy Scouts compared to somebody that's just coming over, I feel like West Liberty Boy Scouts as a nonprofit shouldn't have to pay the same rate as nonprofits and nonprofits.
See,
for a
there's
reason.
the more than one way to skin a cat there. If that was the way it ended up going down, then you reach out to the West Branch Boy Scouts and you're like, hey, can we do a conjoint meeting? And then the West Branch kids just don't show up. I mean, you know, there's ways around
I
all
get it.
that
That
stuff.
seems a little complicated when it could just be one rate on here.
I can definitely add that. It's not a problem.
I think that's what you should do, Melissa.
Okay.
And I understand we don't get a lot of them, but it's just, to me, nonprofits, I think regardless if they're from the community or not, should get a little bit of a break.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Personally, I'm not in favor of discouraging people from using the town hall on weekends. You charge these kind of rates and you're discouraging them. We have people coming to the fire department and asking us to use our,
Your back room, the conference room. What do? You say no or you let them use it?
sometimes.
I haven't asked through all the COVID vaccines. I just use it.
I mean, if you think they're too high, we can definitely lower them to what they are, but I
I don't
really,
have a problem with the non-residents, but I think, I don't know, I personally, for 6 hours, would not pay you $100 or $80 for the town hall.
Well, it seems like
Sure you would.
Seems
That's,
like a fair rate. to
that's
me.
actually a pretty good deal. If you're having your family Christmas, I'd pay $80 to not have them heathens come to my house.
You're not gonna get any place else, you're not gonna get a conference room any cheaper, any place else. That's probably pretty cheap.
No, we need to start charging for.
You know, it's televised.
Yeah. It's his family he's talking
Yeah.
about.
I was gonna say, isn't that-
His family, his
I'll
boys.
tell them that to their face.
Okay, Melissa, did we give you any direction?
you did. I think I'm hearing that you want them, maybe we'll keep them the same. We just add the clauses for the nonprofits and the kids stuff. But I mean, like I said, I have no problem keeping the rates what they were. I was just doing it as a comparison with what they are in other communities. So that doesn't matter. I would strongly still recommend though, a 6-hour block rate,
Oh, yeah.
just for maintenance and for ease of transition. But yeah, I can lower them.
I don't rent places, so I don't know. I'm just saying, I personally would not.
Okay, she needs to know, we're gonna keep,
Standard weekends.
we're gonna stay the same rate for another year, or we're gonna raise them? Give me an answer, somebody.
I'd say stay the same.
Stay the same, Jerry?
Yeah.
Want to keep them the same for next year? We'll revisit it again in another year.
Okay, do you want me to, what about the adult nonprofits?
Gouging.
I put a rate in there for them.
Yeah, let's put a rate in there.
Okay, it's
Out of-
$5.
Out of non-resident, I mean. Adult
Okay.
nonprofit.
No, I meant that,
You know, here's the one thing that bothers me about that, and I understand your thing, but that's kind of an exception, is that nonprofits are gonna come rent a space, get a space here. Why are they gonna come here to rent a space?
Do something for the community.
Probably to raise money for their deal. So we're gonna give them a free spot to take money out of our community.
If they're non-resident, you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So you're saying not even allow them, or
They should just be treated as a non-resident.
so they should be
Yeah, I
paying a lot
agree.
more?
They should pay something,
Yeah.
a little bit. It's minimal. It's really not that much.
And the other reason they're probably coming here is because they couldn't find any other place that was that cheap.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Melissa,
free.
I'm not saying make it free.
okay,
stay with the block
It's
system.
not free for residents.
okay.
Keep
So
the
then
rates the way they are now. Don't raise them except for
Nonprofit, non-resident.
Okay.
non-resident. Where you have NA,
Yeah, I'll do something
Non-resident.
there.
nonprofit should pay a little,
They just go to the non-resident.
the non-resident fee.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I will change that and then we'll go back down to the standard 6-hour block rate will be $60 instead of 80. And the entire day resident, the entire day rental, I think puts that down to, I'll have to look, might be 100. So like I said, we're not really raising them all that much.
No, you're not.
Okay,
I guess I didn't
Be
realize
cheaper
what
for them
they
to come
were.
here than it would be to stay in Coralville.
We'll revisit it again next year.
6-hour block,
Okay.
imagine, 6-hour block in Coralville.
All right, thank you, Melissa.
$10.
Yep.
We think $80 is a
Where
lot.
are we now? Staff work plan. For the last quarter, which is, 2 months, we're a month into it already.
Yeah.
What are you getting at here, Redmond?
So there was some questions on our project status, and it dawned on me that we hadn't been doing a great job of keeping the staff work plan updated so that you guys could be familiar with it. So we last updated it in fall, but for some reason we didn't get it on the website. And we decided that we're going to also make it a Google worksheet that you all will be able to have access to real time. So we'll have what we've been doing, and we'll put it on our website, what you see in front of you. So that'll be on our website, and that'll be done quarterly. But then we'll have another Google spreadsheet that is actually already pretty much done. We have to fine tune and make sure it's reading the way we want to. Leslie set it up before she left vacation. That we'll send that link to everybody, and then you'll be able to see just small stuff. It's almost like a work order where staff is putting in information on that on a day-to-day basis.
So we'll get say an email on a weekly basis or every other week or so?
So it depends on how you want to access it. It's pretty easy where you just have a little, put it on your bar and the first thing pops up if you want, or we can't email it. Well, depending on how you want to do that. Right now, I have it, when I pull up my computer, it pops up on, it's like a little icon. I click on it, then I can get access to the calendar and all the other Google little docs and stuff like that. So I'm thinking if we could do it on your tablets, just put it on there. It'd be like another little thing that you click on and it just pops up. Or we can email it if that's where you're more comfortable with, so you can use it on multiple devices. Or you can look at the one that we'll have online, which will make sure it stays updated. For some reason, we had approved it and it didn't get communicated over to the website. So I don't know where that broke
So
down.
what
at.
information will we be looking at? I guess
So-
what we're looking for is, what's the plan for the next 2 weeks, say? What what projects are going to be worked on.
So if you want something like next 2 weeks, so what you have here in front of you is next quarter. You know, whenever we get that budget,
Yeah, this doesn't really help me much because it says in progress, and we already know it's in progress or not in progress or completed. If it's, I guess what I'm more interested in is dates, what's going to happen in May? What are we expecting to see as in terms of projects in May?
in the month,
Yeah,
so this is quarterly. So you're saying you want a monthly? Is that
well, quarterly is
'Cause-
probably fine.
because the spreadsheet on Google will be like a day-to-day account.
Is that something Matt Goodell will update?
Yeah, he'll be updating. So
You will be? Or who's in charge
Everybody-
of that?
yeah, so everybody who has a project assignment as a contact person, they'll be responsible for updating that piece. And it's going to go on an overall spreadsheet that will have all the different projects on there so you can zero in on what project you really are interested in, or you can look at all of them. So it's really kind of customized to what your interests are.
So, like I'm reading this, it says replacement of one block seal coat road from the east side of town, project status. It says this project is a replacement of the street surface on East Orange between 4th and 5th, seal screw, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it's what we thought was gonna happen last year, that we just talked in the meeting, now it's not gonna happen until 2 or 3 years from now or whenever. But in this, it just says it's in progress, but it really isn't, because we kind of squashed it.
Yeah, this
until-
sheet doesn't
It's in
help me
progress,
much.
we're talking about it.
And then,
Yeah,
you can go a step
That's-
further, and like connecting Greenview, project status, in progress. Well, actually, this was one where you could put a date, you could say substantial completion by 6/31. That's the kind of stuff we want to see. We don't want to see just an X in progress and describing the project that we already know what it is.
Or the second week of May, like the Greenview connection is a good one. Power lines get scheduled to be removed. And then the third week in May, excavation,
Chopping down trees.
cutting down my tree.
Cutting down the 40-foot main.
And then at the end of the project, replanting my tree.
yeah.
That's
So
what,
that kind of,
that's what, when I see a construction schedule, that's what I like to see.
So now, Roger,
Not
you,
in progress.
as far as your this tree thing, if we cut your tree down, we'll give you a little 6 to 8 foot sugar maple.
That's
whatever
right.
kind
I
of-
paid
I was
$300
thinking one of
for
those
that.
little saplings,
Autumn
about that
blaze.
tall.
A $300, that
It
6
was
to
a
8
root
foot.
all the way,
we'll give you-
250 pounds.
Well, that you
I don't want
know,
no little sapling.
no, but we'll get you a $300 tree.
I
But
just bought a
remember,
thousand blazes
$300
this
tree ain't what it used to be.
weekend. $200, it's this big around.
Say the TVs now.
Well,
okay.
my question is, in your scenario, Redmond, how much time are these employees gonna have to spend updating? I mean, if they spend an hour
Yeah,
a day.
that's ridiculous too, because they
Yeah,
have better
that's an
things to
hour.
do.
I mean, that's time away from stuff they should be doing. I think we
To
need-
be honest, that's kind of how this kind of got behind before, because we wind up working on so many different things and moving on to the next thing, then going back and making sure that it's actually communicated is sometimes a challenge. But
Okay. let me-
with the Google approach, it's more like a work order. So there's that time that you have to spend anyway to say it's complete, it's done, or there's some kind of alliance changed, government representatives, and now we have to wait till the new person comes on to figure out whatever. Well, that's kind of a thing that is put in somewhere already, and we're just replacing that activity with this Google thing, which now you could see. So it's a little bit more of a detailed version, not necessarily something that the public's going to be interested in. They're probably going to be more interested in, hey, it's in progress, like this big general one, where you guys can see the more day-to-day
So you're saying
events.
this Google thing is gives us more of a timeline of when things are gonna get done.
More in like days and weeks and stuff like this, where this is just kind of a quarterly in the next 3 months, this is
Yeah,
in
which-
progress.
All right, well, I'm willing to give that a try, I guess. My problem is, I come home at the end of the day, I really don't want to sit at my computer reading emails, which I hate, and I don't want to spend 2 hours at my computer every day. I'm looking at my phone all the time. That's when I get all my communications on my phone. I read emails on my phone during the day when I walk into my truck or whatever.
You
Get
don't
Google Docs on
necessarily,
your
You don't
phone.
read, I don't know.
uh,
You're on the computer all
You
day,
get
so
Google
maybe,
Docs on your
maybe it
phone.
comes up. Pardon?
You can Google Docs on your phone.
if you guys think I'm checking the progress of things every day, you're
We're not
wrong.
like you young guys.
Yeah, we're old school here now.
We're lucky we have a phone
I like to see a
I just
spreadsheet.
got mine.
That's our disability, I know. So I'll give it a try.
We give it a try. I know at one time I was really familiar with Microsoft projects, and I was really used to that, but that costs money, and we decided to
We
avoid
just
that.
use Microsoft Excel and just put down project, progress, notes. This week we worked on moving the fire siren and we're scheduling, and then that's all we need. I mean,
This is
Well, you know
pretty
who
much
does
what
that?
that Google
Google.
is.
Goodell
That's
said
the Google Docs.
That's what-
I think that's something Redmond should do. If the previous administrator, he would give out a weekly or every other week report of what's going to happen through town. This curb and gutter is going to be fixed. This manhole is going to get fixed. And that was pretty helpful to us.
And that was done through your weekly.
Weekly report, like administrative
weekly meetings
report.
with the directors.
Yeah.
Or
And
Main Street's gonna be tore up.
hey, our crack editor of the West Branch Times figured out what the gas barrels were leaking under Kevin's station. They went in and fixed it.
Okay, Redmond, so
Investigating.
we'll give
We'll
this
try
system a
that.
try. We'll give it a try for a while.
But I thought we wanted dates, completion dates on projects.
Some of that stuff is still under.
Yeah, how do we come up with completion dates when, I know that's hard, but.
Well, within a
Estimates.
2-week time frame or a month's time frame.
Month.
Right now, I have no idea.
Even
Because we
start
just-
dates.
We had a time frame on the east side, 4th, 5th, but now it's out a
Next
year
summer.
from now. And we're moving over to Greenview now.
Right,
We have a completion date though.
On Greenview?
31st of June.
On Greenview.
It's June 30th.
30th.
No, 31st.
I said that.
But now,
June 31st, a perfect date.
yeah,
We'll be waiting for that day forever.
exactly.
February 29th.
That's the east side project, June 31st.
All right, so that's our staff work plan.
Yeah.
Okay, we ready to move on? City Administrator, what do you got to say on your report?
Okay. So we're working with VNK and ECIA to get that community assessment survey for the West Branch villages, so that hopefully, if they meet the criteria, that will allow us to seek a grant for the connection, sewer connection, that that can be pursued. So that process is moving forward.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
What is our shovel-ready drop dead date for building that sewer? What are we aiming for?
You're talking the sewer plant.
Sewer plant.
Okay,
The sewer plant?
yeah.
Oh, the sewer plant.
He was talking about the connecting
The village, but
connecting
Oh.
the mobile home village.
I can get you that that timeline too.
Yeah, ask that question in a minute. Because that's on.
I haven't looked at that in a while, but you know, we're a little bit behind schedule on the completion date, but DNR knows it and they're comfortable with it because we're making progress on it. So we're finishing up the design. I believe we should be in the position to start construction or at least bid out construction by the end of this year.
End of this year?
Yeah, end of this year, and then come spring, be ready to start constructing on the Sagar system.
Schekinger gave us a schedule months ago.
At one time, I thought the bid was going to go out in November, but I don't know what it has changed
Yeah, I
to.
don't know.
The DNR is not
So,
quick getting here.
They never are.
Quick to find us.
Typical.
Oh, yeah.
so then I have a
They're quick to
couple
get the money,
questions.
but not do anything.
If we're gonna be ready to bid out this work at the end of the year and start next spring, one of our goals was to relocate our
Brush pile.
brush pile. Where are we at with getting where we need to be going on that? Because we normally grind it in July or as soon as the fiscal year starts, because we can afford to. And it would be I think it would be to our best interest to when we grind it next, be the last time that we grind it at that
Yep.
location.
So, and I just talked to Dave on that today. They've made some initial overtures to the farmer. I think it's
Dustin Anderson.
Dustin. His price came back at 3,500 acre or something like that.
That's the cheapest land we've bought in a lot of years.
35,000.
Oh.
Probably for the whole thing, 35,000.
Yeah, probably. But
Redmond,
yeah, well,
Redmond,
oh,
I'm
I'm sorry, I didn't
interrupt
see
you.
on that.
That's off by a factor of 10. It was considerably higher, so we're still working with Dustin and Hertz Farm Management on negotiating a reasonable cost for that property. We may end up taking only what we need for the wastewater plant, and that might end up getting a little bit more complicated than we had hoped. But we are looking at alternate sites for the brush pile, Colton, if that can't be negotiated amicably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Anderson a call.
Well, was the area that we're talking about moving it to be far enough away we could burn? Because that was kind of the whole idea, was to find someplace where we could
I
burn it.
think he's outside the city limit.
Yeah, but is he
Close to
within?
interstate. Close to P&G. That's why we quit burning. P&G for
I
sure.
thought it was the interstate.
Well, it started out the interstate, and P&G said we couldn't do it anymore too.
There's some alternative sites. I might be a bit early to announce it in public, but
Okay.
there's some other sites that are.
Well, the other thing is if we're gonna grind it and we're gonna move it, then why wouldn't we grind it, have it dumped right into a truck that's gonna move it?
That's right.
Why should we grind it,
Load it.
dump it on the ground, and then have to load it? Why wouldn't we just grind it and dump it on trucks and send it down the road?
Again, those Sager systems take a crap ton of mulch, and we've got a bunch, so we might be in pretty good shape.
I'll take
Yeah.
some.
Maybe.
Okay, so point taken, Colton, we need to keep moving on that, removing the brush pile. What's up next?
Okay.
Redmond?
I think everybody probably knows by now, but just in case you hadn't heard, the roundabout conversation is gone to the point where we were looking at the free option, the free version, and V&K brought some things to the county's attention with it, where they realized that they would also be responsible for turn lane on that because it was part of their traffic study, NPO. So we're back at the point of they're not going to be able to get to it this year, and likely next year or maybe even the year after that. So
Next year.
we'll see, but I think they were trying to avoid getting out of that cost, and they're going to be responsible for the turn lane aspects because it's part of their traffic.
There is, the free option still included some cost to us though.
Then it wasn't
Well, I
free.
think.
Yeah, I always thought it was like.
I
there's
thought-
nothing free
Hence
about
the
it.
free version. I thought it was
No,
free
if they're
too.
gonna cut that intersection down 4 feet or so, there's some cost to us. The free option included no not cutting the intersection down.
Oh, now they gotta do free with turn lanes, so to do turn lanes, then they have to.
I
cut
thought
the
they
hill
were
down.
still gonna have to come east a little bit and north a little bit on Cedar Johnson.
You know, now their MPO says they have to do turn lanes, so I think that means they have to lower it, so a lot more
Which
might have
means they
just
gotta
got
come
free.
onto our side of the
Yeah.
county line.
Dave, do you have any insight on that one?
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, so it shifts some of the responsibility onto the county. And I think they were estimating somewhere around 65,000 that they had allocated to West Branch is now going to be on the county side because of the requirements for the turn lane. But there will still be some work that is on the east side of that county line in the form of grading and whatnot that has to be done in order to blend in, that they're saying is still our responsibility. But the area that goes north ties into Cedar Johnson Road and the likes. Those are the things that they're saying are still ours, but the bulk of the paving widening that is resulting from having to put a turn lane on the west side, that would be theirs. So they're still working through those items, but it should reduce the cost from before that they had estimated for that option that we were looking at, option 5, but it hasn't neutralized it to where we don't owe anything.
We're still on the hook for something. We're gonna be on the hook for something. There is no frame.
Okay, so new name is less cost option then.
That's what we told
Free, it
them.
won't be
Whatever
free
costs
option.
less.
So,
That's
so
beyond me.
in this happening possibly 2 years from now, where's that put the interstate project as far as where they're gonna be? Because what's gonna happen is the interstate's gonna get bottlenecked up. We're gonna have the road closed again. And then traffic's gonna try to come through town and not gonna be able to get through town because they can't go west.
I thought this was gonna happen next summer. It was gonna happen this fall, this coming fall.
It may still happen next summer,
I thought it
but
was just.
I
gonna
think
put it
they
up
also
in
had
January.
another option that it could take longer. So
Okay, I haven't heard
you
that.
know, I try to,
Finish the road and just leave it 200 feet short of the
They could,
intersection.
we could do that.
No, I'm saying, aren't they gonna finish the rest of Herbert Hoover and just leave it like 100 feet short of the
About-
yeah,
intersection?
they said that too.
But it's,
Like 400 feet.
yeah, it's clear past,
It's quite a bit short.
Yeah, it's-
but
halfway between the curve and the
If we don't come to some sort of agreement, that could happen.
Could happen anyway. We're not talking about doing it until 2022.
intersection. In which case, we may have had Cedar Johnson Road designed and ready to throw it all in as one.
I mean,
Okay,
in
what
the
else you
long
got?
run,
Ryan?
I mean, 2022, 2023 might not be.
So I got a Greenview update on there where it gets a little bit more detailed, but also since we've got Dave, just wanted an update on the whole Wapsie Creek and the Gaskill conversations. I think V&K has gotten them the exhibits that they have been asking for with regards to the project scope and their land and how much it would be affected. And from what I understand, we're still waiting to get contacted back by them to meet as a group on their end. And then supposedly they'll come back and be able to start moving forward on something. But
What's the drop dead date? Can we set a drop dead date on there?
Yeah, I would say let's set a date.
I mean, this has been going on since July last
Give them a
year.
deadline.
You
They're
know,
dragging their
our
feet.
downtown's still at risk.
3 months, 6 months?
I'd like
That's
to,
some moving
I'd like to
forward.
start this project 1st of April.
What year?
Bid it out in
Next
January,
year.
bid it out. Yeah, that's not a bad plan.
I'd like to see it started this fall. Fall's better than spring.
Last time downtown flooded was in October.
Mhm.
And Kevin, you're moving forward with the,
how much did we budget for this? I think we put,
We ordered an appraisal,
pattern.
and so we're not gonna, I'm running that track as we're doing the other ones too.
so he's moving forward with that part.
So Dave, let me ask you, if we come up with a deadline to the Gaskills of some sort of signing some paperwork to get an agreement, is that what we're ultimately looking for, is signing some paperwork for an agreement to get on the property and do the work, right?
Right.
That's our ultimate goal with the Gaskills. is there some sort of reasonable time frame that we could get that done, or else we start?
Well, what's the deadline for the eminent domain?
What's
So,
the timeline?
You
not the
give
deadline?
me the, if you want April 1st, I can back it up from there.
Sounds good, and then whatever the
Yeah.
drop dead date is before, the day before eminent domain is their last day, they can do something
How
with
many-
MOU.
What's the time frame from?
Oh, it usually takes, you gotta have 60 days notice by the time you do it. I mean, it's probably 3 months to do the whole process with the sheriff and stuff, but I mean, give all the notices and everything you need to do. So, but in the meantime, we did the hearing already, the ag hearing, we did that a long time ago. We would have to pass a resolution that says we're going to start. We did pass that resolution, never mind. So we can go ahead and get the appraisal and then there's timeframes in that. So if April 1st is where we want, we have plenty of time to do that.
So
So if we were to go,
So
if we were to bid it out. in
3
February-
months for Gaskell's to get this agreement
I
signed.
was gonna say, we were gonna start
60
today.
days. We
instead
gave them a
of-
year.
Yeah.
We've given them a year.
3 months, we could be started this thing this.
Well, I was just gonna ask, that's what I was just gonna ask Kevin. I go, if we said today, how long would it take you to have all that done? What would that date be? And then I would say that
So
would
we
be,
have to do an appraisal, we have to give an offer, and then you have to have good faith negotiations with them. So I usually do 30 to 60 days to do all that. And then it takes another, so if you gave me, like I said, there's no problem getting to the April 1st. So April 1st meeting, if you want to bid it out and start construction, we probably want to have the condemnation done, if we're going to do that, by like February 1st. So it gives us time to, so once we deposit the money with the sheriff, we have the ground. The only thing they can appeal is the amount of money that we paid them. So let's just say I want to have my process done by February 1st. Gives you 2 months to get the bids all ready to go. And then April 1st, spring construction 22.
So if you follow the tone, Dave, of the council here, we're getting really restless.
I'm already done with them. I'm not restless, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, if you can't come up with an agreement in a year, what's 30 days gonna do? What's 60 days gonna do?
Just, not flooding downtown for some signs on the interstate.
So
I mean, that's
we need
not
to get
even
a
remotely
meeting
a good
real
trade.
soon with the Gaskell's, you, me, a couple of us, and let them
I think
know
you're gonna
what.
want me in that.
I think
um,
You don't want me to-
Yeah, I think there's a good portion of you don't want that meeting.
Okay, well,
Me and Roger. I mean, but
yeah,
I've basically told
we're
Kim,
getting restless.
she
Seriously.
Yeah.
And, let's
Yeah.
get that next week.
Okay.
Let's get started on it.
How much ground are we talking, eminent domain? It's only,
Yeah, how
About
much
5
ground are we
acres.
talking now, Dave? 5 acres, 2 acres?
About 5 acres.
that's what we want, but the construction's gonna take more for an easement, right?
No.
it's just a construction easement, it's all.
Is that construction easement also?
It would be permanent easement and construction area. We would keep that entire area for the most part.
Permanent drainage easement?
Yes,
Is that what that would be called?
yes.
Just an easement.
You
They
can't
get to
build-
use the
You can't
property.
build on the property, but they're not gonna build on the property anyway.
Can't do anything with it.
Would they farm it, or we don't want corn on it, we want,
It's currently in CRP for the majority of it. We've overlaid their CRP on the exhibit to show them the impacted areas. And it may be better just to pull it out of CRP and pay them whatever that would be to the end of the period.
so we
That's
pay them
also-
for that.
Something we're negotiating with them.
We'd have to pay them their CRP losses for 2 or 3 years, 2 years, I don't know, 1 year.
Yeah, there's a formula. We
That's-
did it when we put the lift station in for them, through there years ago. There's a formula that Dave knows it.
Okay.
Did we have to do did they give us permission to go through their property for the lift station?
Yeah.
We did not have to condemn it.
Okay.
Bob was still one.
Oh,
Okay, what else you got, Redmond?
That's it.
I got a
Good boy. Any staff? Melissa, you're the only one. Thank you very much. The only thing I have is Heritage Square. We've got sandbags that have been there for a year. They're looking like crap. A year or more ago, 5 years ago, there was a little drawing of made up what to do with Heritage Square. We need to get off our butts and do something there. Grass it, concrete it. Grass doesn't grow there. It's terrible. I'm gonna find that plan that Goodell says he has
I remember that.
somewhere. And I'm gonna bring it around and show you guys and see what your thoughts are. And we gotta decide, we can't have those sandbags there all the time. It's just driving me crazy.
I think we looked at that plan the first year
And-
Jody and I were on.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my only comment on that. Anything else, anybody?
I have something.
Go ahead, Jerry.
I've had a couple people out of the Cedar Johnson Road intersection with the old Greenview, that's now a three-way stop. We discussed this way back last year about possibly doing a four-way stop. I'm not for the four-way stop, but I think there needs to be better signage for the three-way stop. Because what's happening is people that are going to like Bickford's, coming from the south, they're turning the signal on, and people coming from the north pull out in front of them because they think there's a four-way stop. So
Yeah.
we either need to have three-way, the three-way stop, or
Oncoming traffic
does
doesn't-
not stop something to let people know, because there's a lot of people that come to the golf course, to the Little Lights, that are not familiar with that being a three-way stop, and they pull out in front of somebody coming from the south.
I've done it. I'm not expecting people to go straight from south to north. And
There's a lot of
it's happened
traffic.
to me twice. I pulled out in front of them.
I did it. That's how it became a three-way stop, was I almost got whacked. It was my fault.
Okay. So we'll get Corey,
Yeah.
talk to Corey about
Yeah.
getting that.
Well,
Class B.
Oncoming traffic.
If it's
something.
just better signs, is it the signs are missing or
No, there's just no signs.
poured away or no
There's
signs?
just three stop signs, there's no verbiage that say that there's oncoming traffic that does not stop.
Cul-de-sacs there.
Okay.
And the
good
one
comment.
person said, people that pull, when they got their turn signal on and they have the right of way and somebody pulls out, they're the ones that are getting the bird, because the other person thinks that they had the right of way when they didn't have the right of way. So
It's never happened to me.
you never get the bird.
People pull out in front of me. I usually get it from Rogers way, your way. They can't see it.
Those two trees there.
That tree, yeah, I know that tree is. a tough
How you doing on that?
one. Why don't you talk to Otis about that?
You said you were. I got one thing. I would like to, next agenda, have the Casey site put on the agenda. We need to figure out what to do with that site. I don't like seeing it used as a parking lot.
Speaking
Weren't we
of,
gonna turn it into a parking lot?
Yeah, we were gonna put it in the parking lot.
Well, we never decided that.
Okay, I've got a question too on when the mural will be installed.
That's
Well,
what
we
I
put
I just have
that
time for
on
that.
hold when this whole question came up about the parking lot, because we didn't want to spend any
I
money
still
on the
think the
parking
mural
lot.
will be installed. It's right on the property line. We're not gonna pave right up to it. Anyway, we need to.
So I guess that'd be part
that
of,
was what I was gonna bring up. Except I wasn't going to be so nice as to let them come up with the date. I think it needs to be installed, so when the poker runs come through town and the summer tourists come through, we actually have something for them to look at.
Ice skating rink.
That's next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Mural.
it'll be on the next agenda, but I guess where do we want to go with
Why do
that?
we need it on our agenda? The
Well, the
mural.
last
I don't
time,
remember settling on us paving it.
yeah.
No, we never did.
We
Figure
were,
out what we're gonna do with it.
we had some money that I think we were gonna spend on it, and council didn't want to spend any money on it, and
Decided we were just gonna fix the sidewalks.
yeah, the sidewalks would
Yeah,
be fixed.
we did.
Let's put it on the next agenda and figure out what we're gonna do with it.
Because we like to know, because I think we held off on the mural because we were like, we're gonna put that up and everything else looks terrible.
I do remember a council meeting, I said, let's figure out what we're gonna do tonight so we don't have to bring it back. So now we're bringing it back. Let's figure out what we're gonna do with it.
Well, we said we weren't gonna pave it, we were gonna redo the sidewalks and put the mural up. That was where we started.
And I think there was also dig it up and make it all grass. I think that was also talked
Well,
about.
let's figure it out at the next meeting.
So it'd be nice to know what we need to do so we can put it in that
We
plan.
went through this once already. Why does this keep happening?
Just make the
So
decision.
we need to make it.
Yeah.
No, we need to be specific, and that's what we're not doing is we're not being specific. So what we need to do, Redmond, is you need to bring us the cost of what it's gonna cost to dig it up and make it all grass, the cost of just fixing the sidewalks, the cost of paving it, both concrete and asphalt and chip and seal, and
Gravel.
that's it. No.
No
gravel's
gravel,
rules.
no gravel.
So if we have all the options there, then there's no reason, if we don't make a decision that night, then it's our fault.
Good point.
I've recently heard that asphalt is almost as much, if not more than concrete.
Mhm. That's oil.
Okay,
Yeah, but we
That's what
can't
we're
make it
looking for.
wood because that would be, that's more expensive than both of them, so.
Okay.
3x4 sheets of plywood.
So
Mine will be
anybody else?
yes,
No, 3/4 inch.
the alley between Fourth and Fifth. I had somebody pull out in front of me coming down that because they stopped clear up here. Because once you start down that ramp after the sidewalk, you aren't gonna stop. So they stopped clear up here, but they couldn't see me coming. So I honestly think we should close it off at that end. Nobody goes up it, they only come down it.
So what I said before, to solve the
Yep,
rock
Dead
issue,
ended.
dead ended.
Um,
Leave enough,
What is the
It's
address?
something.
leave enough to push
What's the
snow
address?
and.
Excuse me?
dead ended.
What is the address for that? I didn't get that.
Between Fourth and Fifth
Yeah.
Street and dumps on Main Street.
Yeah, like,
Between Fourth and Fifth Street.
there's an alley between Fourth and Fifth
Right
that runs
across from
north
the
and south.
Dentist office.
Yeah, over there by
We
the
always had the rock come down and back,
Yeah.
you guys gotta go clean it up.
one that
Saw two birds-
the neighbors
saw two
have come
things at
forward
once,
and
so-
wanted to do something.
End it. I said that a couple months ago.
I don't think that's gonna be popular with the homeowners who live on that
Still
alley.
go out the other way,
I
Greg.
guess,
I mean,
Yeah. That's
They
the
could
way
use
they
it.
all come in.
Yeah.
well, their driveways, they're back, they use that alley for their driveways. A couple people do.
But what you're saying.
They
is-
can use
They
that.
can
The other way.
Close
come
it
from
off
Green
at the
Street,
sidewalk.
just don't go up it or down it.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
You just
Close
keep
it
coming the
off
other
right
way.
there at the sidewalk so they can't
Gotta close the whole.
go
thing.
past the
Just-
sidewalk down
I got
on the
that.
main.
Just close one end, not.
Yeah, just that
Okay.
one.
They can still come in on the other end.
I'm not taking their
I
driveways.
got it.
So do we want to have that on the next agenda? And if we do you want us to send out any kind of mailing or calling or anything to those neighbors?
Probably should.
They're gonna be fumed if we don't.
Probably gonna be mad either way. but-
Well, then be prepared because they're gonna come here wanting us to fix their alley too.
Well, we already gave them an answer on that.
Oh,
The
They
people-
showed up last.
The people between Fourth and Fifth.
Yeah, they
that
came
alley.
last budget meeting and the last two budget meetings.
They wanted
we
to
can
pay
throw
to-
gravel on it.
It's
But
too many
except we
families
don't
on it.
want to do gravel because it
There's
rolls
like-
down the hill and then we got to pick it up out of the
Not if we
street.
put big
Not if we close it off.
Yeah,
concrete barriers right there so they can't come down it. That
well, and that
concrete
just needs to
barrier
be
is
chewed
gonna
up
stop
and made
it.
a
Yeah.
dirt,
It just needs to turn.
Yeah.
dirt. We dead
plant
ended
some
it.
crown vetch in there, so.
Plant grass down.
That's what I mean. If we dead ended, it needs to be dug up and turned into
Maybe that would solve the gravel problem washing on the main street.
I think I said that a couple of days ago.
All right, anybody, anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Move.
Yes.
Colton and Jerry, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.